Shall we start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Just. So, I request Dr. Indrani MR, ma'am, Executive member of iSPELL and convener of South Karnataka Forum, to start today's event. Please, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, respected EC members on the board and respected keynote speaker, chairperson, and all the other presentees over here. It gives me immense pleasure to be associated with
Indrani, ma'am. Ma'am.
Some network issue, I think.
Yeah.
Pramod, has she lost network connection?
Yes, ma'am. That's.
Let me get
I'm back now.
Yeah.
Sorry, there is
No
a issue today this morning. Yeah, okay. A very good evening to everyone present over here. It gives me immense pleasure and to be associated with the iSPELL, which is the Indian Society for the Promotion of English Literature and Language, was started on September 5th, a very important day where teachers are elevated. It's a day where we all just celebrate the noble ones. Our duty towards the society is very, very high. We are those teachers who create the doctors. We are those teachers who create the masters. We are those teachers who create the engineers. We are the one who create those eligible, responsible citizens of our country. With these words, the iSPELL started on 5th September in 2019 when there was a serious condition of COVID-19 and where the pandemic situation which created where like-minded people came together with the motto to elevate, to facilitate, to elevate, where the brainchild of Dr. Gansham sir, who is the General Secretary, along with all those AC members, we could see the President, Anupama Ora ma'am, Dr. Anupama Ora ma'am, and we have many other like-minded people who are working for this. There are many forms which has been started, forums individually which has been started and working. And it has now reached the pinnacle of success within a year and a half where we have reached worldwide. It is a mission to explore oneself, to learn more and elevate and facilitate assets. It's a team of erudite scholars who are the pillars of this forum, giving their heart and soul to serve the English literary lovers. It's a platform to execute, display our intellectual skills, independent thinking skills, and to imbibe a sense of confidence in teachers, research scholars, students, and even school teachers, along with literary lovers. Every deliberation on Sunday Sahitya Satsang, which is called Triple S, has opened a new horizon, a new area to search and research, to think and rethink on the literary avenues. It is a platform to know thyself and to create one's own identity. Today, we are here with the second event of January 2022. And let me take this opportunity to wish everyone a prosperous, happy new year. Along with this, the title today is very, very interesting. It is on mirroring on the go, being a productive teaching in the annum of technology. To start with, I take immense pleasure on behalf of iSPELL to welcome the gathering here along with the keynote speaker, Dr. Nagakala ma'am, the chairperson, Professor Sudeshna Dutt, and the master of ceremony, Dr. Dinesh, Professor Dinesh Sinde. Before starting this event, I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremony, who has been working as an assistant professor of English at MD Shah Mahila College of Arts and Commerce, Malad, Mumbai. He is pursuing PhD from the Department of English, University of Mumbai. Professor Sinde has worked as course coordinator as well as a trainer for the self-finance certificate courses. He has also worked as a content writer in the State Election Commission of Maharashtra and Mumbai. Professor Sinde has published several books, book chapters in ISBN book, and presented research papers in a journal. Besides, he has like part of his in many online. He has taken part in many online ELT courses organized by Cambridge University Press. He has participated in 37 webinars at national and international level and completed FDP and research methodology courses online. He has served as an evaluator and has also been invited as a chief guest speaker and invited as judge for an annual national level competition. Professor Sinde has also completed prison project survey in Central Jail of Maharashtra under Home Department Government of Maharashtra. Adding to his credentials, he has received honors in recognition of outstanding achievements during graduation felicitation ceremony in the year 2013, 14, and moreover, I personally feel very aspiring professor who is keen in learning, who is an active participant and audience in iSPELL, and who is working on these areas. He loves working and new creative ideas is his area of interest. Dr. Dinesh sir, I welcome you to this platform and request you to kindly get along with the event for today's evening.
Very pleasant evening to one and all present over here. Thank you so much, Dr. Indrani Madam, for acknowledging me with your generous tone. On the behalf of iSPELL family that stand for the Indian Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature, I am Assistant Professor Dinesh Kumar Shinde warmly welcomes the dignitaries, resource person, chairperson, convener, teachers, and scholars all over the globe. It's my privilege to be the host for today's session from the Karnataka Forum. I wish you prosperous and wealthy near New Year to all. On this special occasion, in today's satsang, definitely we will get a literary feast of knowledge. Therefore, as Charles Darwin depicts that, I quote, it is a long history of humankind and animal kind too, that those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. I unquote. As we know that the new era of teaching and education is deliberately focused on collaboration, interdisciplinary, multi and transdisciplinary approaches for the enhancement of skills. Therefore, iSPELL was founded on 5th September 2020 by Professor Ghansham sir. The main motive is to facilitate to elevate. On this purpose of statement, English readers, teachers, and scholars got this platform to upgrade themselves in a global world. I thanks to organizers for their immense support and motivation. Thus, today is yet another innovative event that affirms the talent of the English fraternity and the teacher who will be proud to be called productive teachers in the advancement of technology world. For this reason, on the ninth Sunday, Sahitik Satsang entitled Mirroring on the Go, being a productive teacher in the Aeon of technology. To move further, we are going through a new normal phase of COVID-19 pandemic, but still for the genesis of knowledge and production, there are no obstacles to the creative mind. Consequently, we have two gentlemen for today's session who will be the open to the multiple facets of productive teacher in the Aeon of technology. Henceforth, I would like to invite Professor Sudeshna Datta to chair the session. Welcome you, madam. To extend further, it's my honor to introduce today's phenomenal personality and a resource person, Dr. Nagakala Gopal Krishna, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Heartiest welcome, madam.
Thank you.
Madam is assistant professor at the Department of English, Imam Abdul Rahman bin Faisal University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Madam has enthusiastically worked as an academician, freelancer, presently working at IA University, Dammam. She had her bachelor's degree at the University of Mysore, and it is proud to say that she was a student of Gyanpith awardee Dr. U.R. Anantamurthy at the University of Mysore. She had completed her master's in English literature, in Hindi literature, and in child mental health subsequently. In addition, she also has a B.Ed and M.Ed from Annamalai University. Her main research is on dimension of language variation in advertisements, a linguistic approach. She has completed the certification of TESOL, stands for the Teaching of English to Speaker of Other Languages, and the Taste of English for International Communication. Her teaching experience is for more than 30 years in countries like India, the Sultanate of Oman, Libya, and others. Dr. Nagakala was the project supervisor for undergraduate student at Sete University, Libya. Madam has presented her papers at the many conferences in India, abroad. She has published articles regarding the main domains of English. Furthermore, she has written articles on language, linguistics in Scopus Index journals and noted journals. Dr. Nagakala Gopal Krishna has received appreciation and was awarded for her excellent teaching by the Ministry of Sultanate of Oman. She is a member of ELTAT and the president of the Velta Forum. This is a brief note of today's speaker. We really appreciate her academic contribution and talent. We are eager to listen to your talk.
I'm honored.
Over to you, respected madam.
I'm so honored, and I don't know whether I will come up to your expectations, and I am very thankful and grateful to all the organizers who have given me an opportunity to present my views regarding this topic. I especially have to, I don't know others, but I have to especially thank Dr. Indrani, who personally came to me and invited me, as we are in the same place. And well, let me share my screen. Can I share my PPT?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Is it visible, sir?
No, ma'am.
Long time back, I used Zoom. So, share screen, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Share
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now visible.
It's
Thank
visible.
you. Thank you so much.
If possible, make it a full screen, ma'am. Please.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, keep it. No issue. Just double click on that cup on the left, right bottom. Sorry, right bottom. You find a cup sign.
You
Yes.
can go.
This one?
Click. Yes. Double click.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh, perfectly.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, The topic for the day is mirroring on the go, being a productive teacher in the Aeon of technology, means in the era of technology. We are in the age of technology. I just have symbolized with that, the student is trying to, he's standing on the books and he's trying to catch the star, and all of us are doing that. Well, as it is connected to teacher, I feel it is better to remember or recite the shloka or Sanskrit shloka, which is very famous and which everybody starts with a guru. Guru is nothing but a teacher. So Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We have to have, all of us are teachers in the whole world, and all of us, all other, like we have many teachers, not only the teacher who is teaching us in the schools or in the colleges or in the universities. Even we start, the mother is the first teacher, as we all know that. So what I would like to say is, I would like to bring in a quotation from one of the journals which one of the research scholars had pointed out. A fundamental assumption in teaching a foreign language suggests that students learn more by practicing the language themselves than, for example, like just listening to the long teacher's explanation. If we take the history of guru or the teacher-student relationship, it starts from that gurukulas, where the gurukulas, the students would be in the teachers' houses and learn all type of practical skills. Like as the days passed by, as the age passed by, now we are in the technological era. So as we pass by those this thing, now we are in this age, technological age. Sorry. So what I would like to bring in the point here is, any language or anything, if you want to learn, it is not possible by theoretical knowledge or by reading just a book and, no. So you need practicing. And that is why we say practice, 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 and it makes a person perfect. We know that. Teachers actually matter enormously to student learning. Nowadays, they are like, teachers are delivering academic lectures and giving importance to the learning and all that is going on. So teachers impart, actually model social, emotional skills. And who do we call a good teacher? Is there any such thing like we call a good teacher or a productive teacher or a bad teacher or something like that? Actually, we shouldn't give any adjective, good or bad. But when we say productive teacher, the teacher is trying to give something which is really useful to the students, really how it makes them, like nowadays it is lifelong learning. It's not just one day learning. Probably some 50 years ago or 60 years ago, I even take for that matter some years ago, as I told you in Gurukulas, let us come back. Like they would finish their archery skills or waging war skills or whatever, and they would come back and they would try to do it practically. But after that, would they learn something? We are in doubt. Practicing is nothing but learning again. That is why we say learn, unlearn, and relearn. Right? So, the next point, like the point is, maybe if you see in government offices in India, you know, once they have got a job, I don't think anybody would be interested in learning, would be going to schools or colleges or doing any courses. Very, very rare people are there. I don't say no, not at all, but there are, but a very few. Could be like, you know, we can count on fingers like that. So they wouldn't go for learning. Like, they have got a job, they're contented, they are happy with the whatever the job they get, and whatever the increment they get, they will be worried about that. They'll be worried about families, settlement, and all such things. So, but we are in this 21st century. We are already in 2022. We have passed 22 years, 21 years, and we have stepped into 22. So, this is my first deliberation in this new year, January 2022. So better late than never. Let me wish you all a very happy and prosperous new year. So let this learning be going on and on and on. And that is why I come to say this. Before I go to the challenges and all that, I would like to bring in some other ideas. In this digital era, teachers' role has shifted from mere preacher. Nowadays, the teacher is not just a preacher. Is not just giving explanations. That is why I told you that in those days the teacher would give long explanations, and the students, we do not know whether they were dreaming, whether they were sleeping, whether they were enjoying, whether they would take in anything. We were not bothering about it. We just had to do this. And in later on, some schools and convents, they would just give them notes and something like that, and they would say, bug up. You need to learn it by heart, and you need to come back like that. So like this, it was like such a thing, and then gradually what happened is this kind of it was not just preaching. So the teacher had to start managing the students, both the social and emotional behavior, because these days actually we would say only in Western countries it is like this, but nowadays in every country we have this, the social and behavioral problem is there in every country, in every child, every place. So we have to, now the teacher has to manage the students' social and emotional behavior life. And the teacher has to be a mentor for their learning and overall development. They cannot just be like, just the teachers now. They have to see that there is an overall development among the learners. And teachers' role, as I told you again, to come back to this 21st century, is like, we can point out some 3 points, like, or some more points, like, I haven't put that in the slide. I thought, let me explain them in here. So what I would like to say is the role of teacher in, especially productive teacher, I would say. I'm giving this adjective because as you see the slides, or as you listen to towards the end, we will understand how productive we are and how productive we have to be in this new technological age or era. So nowadays teachers are, have to be not just a teacher, but a facilitator, helping the learners to make, we have to teach them how they can make judgments, and how they can, judgments about what? Judgments about the quality and the validity of what they are learning. Okay, and so teachers are, expected to become more technologically oriented, and must be responsible, not only for their teaching, but also for their students' learning. Of course, see, let me go back to this pandemic time. Before that, the teachers would go to schools and colleges and universities, and they had some notes, or they would just deliver and they would just give them, and the teaching learning was going on. And when we started evaluating, when we started, different types of evaluation, like including e-learning and all that. At this point, I would like to bring, to your notice that in 2005, in Sultanate of Oman, the capital city Muscat had started a e-learning school. And that school, when we were teachers, they selected some teachers and they asked us to, that time it was only a audio one, because not at technologically was not so much improved, or was not necessary, I could say, or not improved, okay, or not practiced in all this thing. So they asked us they selected some teachers and they asked us to make a video or lesson to the teachers, to this e-learning, so that they could really make it easy for the learners. Even they could use it later on. So that is why I would say, I was trying to tell you that teachers are like, they have to be technologically advanced and responsible, not only for their teaching, but also for their students' learning. Because if a teacher is not productive, if a teacher is not, advanced in this technology, how she or he can help the students, how she or he can solve the problems of the students. So nowadays teachers are, as I told you, are facilitators, helping the students, and trying to make them to be judgmental about their own quality, about their own validity, and trying to make them a true teacher in their sense. Look, let me come to this point again. Let me bring a little challenges which are there in front of teachers in this digital era. There are multiple varied students, multiple or varied students, in the sense, like, in India, wherever I worked in other countries, there wouldn't be much difference, because there aren't many religions, or there aren't many class differences there. But in India, we have all that differences. That is why we call it as diversities. So the students are different. They come from rural background, they come from city background, they come from modernized family background, and civilized or uncivilized. Who do not know much of these things and all. So what happens is, they may try to talk to us like, how does a teacher try to manage this when the students are all of different categories, different class, different religion, different caste, creed, whatever, you know. I mean, why, don't mistake me when I say caste, creed, because in India it matters a bit, because the background of the students matters there. That is why I just pointed out. But other differences are there. Like when I say, I mean, I can also talk about emotional behavior, social behavior, all that matters here. So how do we, you know, what is the problem here? How do we, you know, what, like, you know, when we talk about some last 10 or 20 years, technology has facilitated in the multifold, I should say, because not in just only in one this thing, in multifold. So the students have now got access to multiple knowledge. They are not just in one knowledge, they are in many this thing, like a student, you know, is always because we have internet. In maybe some 20-30 years ago, we did not have that facility. Now actually somebody was like, you know, saying like even if the people do not have food, they don't bother, but if they don't have phone, they bother much, and with an internet facility. So the era has, I mean, the age has come like this. So that is why a student is always curious, you know, by nature. So he or she wants to learn and find out what is there, you know, unfold everything and try to bring in some new things and all that. And that as a result of that, students have become more knowledgeable, I can say. I think you all agree with that. And they are more interrogative. You know, of course, questioning is always there. You know, when we again go to mythological references, Nachiketa was the one who was asking a lot of questions. I mean, that's just a reference. So like that, anybody, even now, the children of 3 years and all, they can see, they'll be asking so many questions, and sometimes parents or teachers get irritated. Very few people have the patience to answer the students, I mean, the small kids, or even the students' questions. They say, if they know well, if the teacher is really productive, if the teacher is really knowledgeable, and all that, the teacher is able to give an answer, give a proper answer. And if the teacher doesn't know, maybe he or she gets angry or gets annoyed, and all this happens. Like, well, so the students are very competitive. You know, they want, they are more demanding, they are more competitive, they are more intelligible. You know, like or interrogative, I could say. I mean, all these things are more now, not less than this thing. So what happens is like, you know, the students in this kind of background, when the students are of different types, you may have, you know, we know in India, in some of the schools, we have some 150 students in a class. Literally, I have seen. Probably now the pace and the class, this thing all has changed because of this pandemic as well, and as well as they've got some awareness, and now many schools have reopened, and you know, they are trying to do their best. Well, so in this context, I would say, like, I mean, most of the children are, most of the students are becoming tech savvy. And when they, so what we have to do? You know, globalization of education is one of the thing which is making them to be tech savvy, and they have to be, you know, more, they have to face the competition, and they have to learn, you know, relearn more and all that. Like, so so this this diversity or this multiple or this varied students, this has gone like, we are now following that RTE Act, I think which was actually in 2009, it was had to come in all schools, and now I think it has been directed to all the schools that we have to follow that. Hopefully a teacher's role in such a scenario has become utmost important and stringent, I could say. Because this is very important. This is a challenge that the teacher has to face now, and the teacher has to be more productive in this kind of this thing, and has to understand the responsibility of herself or himself. And student to teacher ratio, when I talk about, actually I again, as I'm in India now, I have to talk this, whereas in many schools we have like public schools and Kendriya Vidyalayas or whatever, in they are giving like 1 to 20 ratio probably. But otherwise, as I told you, there would be like in government schools and even in private schools, when English convent schools started, that those days there was a ogue, like, people were all like fancied about sending their students to English convent schools. Of course, I am a product of English convent school, but when I was studying, we were only 27. 23. But later on, as I saw, when my sister became a teacher, she had literally 190 students in a class. And it was really, I don't know what word to use. How would the teacher be so energetic to reach each and every student? It is highly impossible unless and until the teacher has extra energy. I know in every ads we see now extra 20%, extra 30%, like this. So probably like that it goes on, I think, like, and of course later on the scenario has taken different shapes and different roles. So, but in other countries where I have worked, that was not a problem for us. Even in some places, we had some teachers were given basic education training, and they had, one teacher had only 5 students or 6 students, like that, and that was really in some parts of the world it was easy, but in some parts of the world it was horrible. In Africa, Asian countries, some of them had all this kind of problem, like and when we talk about higher secondary education or whatever, higher education, primary education was more like, it was terrible, like that they couldn't have that student teacher ratio as other developed countries had, and that was really a very challenging for the teachers to make be how teacher can be productive. But now what has happened in this digital era is we have from the time of this online classes have started, the scene has been changed. We are in a different mode, but still we face some problems. I'll be telling you about that. So like that, these are some of the things that we have to pay attention to, and we need to be careful about these, and we need to take care of these things. So we say netizen. Netizen is nothing but who use the net, and zen, citizen. It's a 2 word which is combined together, and we put it as netizens or programmers, or we call it as, probably you will be knowing this word also, netiquette. when you're using the net, you should know the etiquette, the manners, the mannerisms and all. So here, this is also, again, we call them actually, otherwise we can also call them, I mean, we can say that challenging point is the digital natives. You know, here a student these days are like they are never alone when they are learning. You mean, did you understand what I mean to say? I mean to say they are with the Facebook, they are with the YouTube, they are with the friends chatting, everything is taskers. We how do we control them? How do we know? Actually, there is some you know, I am not a computer teacher, but they will be telling us about this more about these things. So well, a student, so they are with the Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams and whatnot, you know, and what kind of, so they don't even care what teacher is teaching in the class, because they can find out everything in Google these days. And, you know, they can really they just have to have the attendance. If you have that attendance problem, they will be showing it their face, otherwise they'll open the you know, the device, and they will mute, and they'll be disappearing, or even if they are there, their presence, physical presence might be there, and their mental presence may not be there. So this is a very big challenge for the teacher, for you know, how to bring them. So they may use these all these you know, things like so we are trying to use this internet and facilitating the digitalization classes and all those things, but are they guaranteeing, are they assuring something to the students? That is a thing that we have to really think about, you know. So most students these days come to schools. I mean, now again, when we are talking about online, like offline schools, which has started, you know, so like they are trying to, you know, revolve around, and they are trying to make it like, so the fundamental difficulties are there, and that has to be solved, and that has to be taken care of. So now it is the duty of the teacher how to bring in all this, how to control all this. And you know, the challenge is really what I should say, it increases in the degree wise as you have number of students, and as you have all these you know, facilities for them as well as facilities for you. But how do you control? Let us come to that later on. So the next challenging part is lifelong learning. What do you mean by lifelong learning? Don't we learn every day? Yes, we do. And we as teachers, we have to learn. We have to, we cannot, you know, we are not just stopping there at like, okay, I finished my master's, I'm a school teacher, I need not learn anything. No. I finished my PhD. I became a professor, so I did not learn. No. So I have taken DLit. You know, so the degrees are nothing. They are only on the paper and a certificate to give you, you know, because the government policies and all these things are there, and that is fine. But otherwise, you know, education sector nowadays has like, you know, all these sectors have become very, you know, trying to tell us like, you have to learn and learn and learn. That is like, you know, going on learning. There's never ending for learning. It's throughout your life you have to be learning. Why that? I mean, in other words, to say, the first point, what I said is practice. So what you have learned, you're practicing. And that is what is your learning goes on and on and on like that. So there are for teachers, for professors, whoever it is, for anybody, we have workshops, we have different courses, we have seminars, we have webinars. That is what we are doing now. Seminar has turned into webinars, and they are all taking place in order to make the teachers as well as the students to be, updating themselves, upgrading themselves. If you don't update and if you don't upgrade yourselves, you are still, of course, you cannot change 2 + 2 is 4 only. It cannot be 3 or it cannot be 5. We know that. But how do you tell that to the, fast moving students in the fast moving digital era? How do you tell them? How do you teach them? That is why, we have nowadays for teaching maths and science, because the students would fail in maths and science subjects in those days. But now you see everybody gets 100 out of 100. How? Because of this digital means. You have you have so many apps, and you have so many mode of learnings, like and they say QMath, Abacus, and whatnot. Byju's, and so many things are coming up online, and everything is making like a dish. You wish for it and you will have it. But is that all enough? That is a question we have to ask. So are we learning if we just take in something like that and put it here, like copy and paste it here? No. So we have to teach our students how they have to be using their learning, how they have to make use of whatever they have done, whatever they have learned in theoretically, put it in practice, put it in practical, and this helps in peer learnings also. And the next challenge is related to the job issues, job problem. And I don't know, now I didn't take the ratio about unemployment problem in India, because now our Prime Minister is giving Atmanirbharata and self-employment ideas and new things and new visions for these things and all that, and he's encouraging everybody. So, but still, what happens is, even to this day, we may find like somebody is doing some job which is not concerned with his studies, and some are doing I would try to recall I like to recall a point here. When I was teaching in a diploma college in India, that was my first second experience, and like the polytechnic students, so we had to correct their English papers and all evaluation. It was the what do you call central evaluation system was going on and all. So I heard before they employed, they took exactly the lecturers or the professors to correct the polytechnic students' examination papers, the second division clerks were correcting their papers. So what would be the fate of the students? I don't know. That was long time back. I just recalled it. So that is where we are talking about related to jobs. There are, a teacher herself is also an employee, right? So is she in a very good organization? Is she having opportunity to do her work as she had expected, or as she is skilled? Like all this, it goes like, so whether it is a college or school or university, all that is matter. So there are certain own professional needs, which are posing new challenges in this area. And so a teacher is engaged in multiple and multi-level tasking in the school. Nowadays, you know, a teacher is not just teaching. We all know, all of us know, we do a lot of work, you know, arranging, you know, organizing programs, debates and quizzes and different things like that. And we are taking them even to the cultural, you know, we have to give them all such background ideas, and we have to make them productive. That is so learning without burden. You know, one of the I think it is by iSPELL committee was trying to say that it should be learning without burden. But what is this has highlighted the ills of the present education system. Actually, in India, when we talk about NEP, that is, I mean, I don't want to touch upon that now. Let us. But what is the education system going in a right way? Are we all responsible or no? Or who is responsible? So briefly saying how education system has become more centralized and examination driven, examination oriented. You know, sometimes it is joyless. In the earlier, I think we could think about our school days and all. We were playing and enjoying this, and we were never having examination fear and all. But I think nowadays this is there. You know, all the time you're gluing to your device and you're gluing to your this thing, and again your job, which may be or may not be. So now coming to answer some of these, taking this challenge in a different way and trying to overcome. We need to have teaching skills in the digital era, not just a teaching skill as we had, like, you know, writing lesson plan and all those things. And all. So the teacher plays a significant role, not as a you know, fellow learner, but also as a link to the knowledge community. Or you know, state of art in that discipline. Because why I'm telling this is, you know, here even the student also, the teacher plays a very significant role, because the teacher has to be like a learner only, like a fellow learner only. And in addition to this general teaching skills, the more skills are needed to, you know, to run the show, as it is necessary to be imbibed in a teacher to play, for all the teachers to play their roles effectively, not just to play their role. You know, just, okay, I went to school today, I finished this lesson for this class, I finished this one, I finished this unit, and I came back home. That is not enough. That is not just the what do you call, the necessity of the teacher now. The teacher has to have more skills if she or he has to be effectively playing her or his role as a facilitator of learning. You know, as I told you, now a teacher is not just a teacher, a productive teacher. He or she plays a lot of roles, a technician, a mechanic, judge, you know, every role he or she plays. So in the networking skills are also necessary. Networking skills and I mean, that is necessary because it is collaborating learning. Here, when I say teachers collaborative learning environment, there the students communities of practice and other teachers are there, researchers are there, and government representatives, all of them come under this one. But the teacher collaborative learning environment who creates will be in the center. So that is what is. Hope I didn't cross my time. Okay, another 5 minutes. I'll try to wind up. So let me go back to the points I was telling. Like in this regard, the teacher. As I told you, nowadays the teachers have different roles. As I told you, the teacher has to be judgmental has to teach the learners how to be judgmental in quality and in validity, as well as now to be active. Teacher has to be active cooperators. Why? Because she or he has to collaborate and cooperate with the students and try to give them the all kinds of ideas, especially to motivate. Self-motivation is necessary, and that self-motivation has to pass on to her learners, her or his learners, I mean to say. So they need to know everything that is that can be provided to the students, that can be provided to the learners, not just as a just like writing the exam and coming out. It is to be given for lifelong understanding. So in this digital era, the teachers can be productive, and their role has been shifted from, as I told you earlier, from mere preacher, not just a preacher, to manage, not only to manage, to become the mentor, as well as the manager for their learning, and as well as overall development of a person to be a very good citizen of a country. So that lies in the teacher's hands now, because the teacher has to teach how to balance these things, and a teacher will be, a productive teacher will be responsible if there is a balanced citizen, if he or if her learner has become a balanced citizen. And the teachers are also the mentors for their learning and as I told you, development, this thing, as well as teacher has, it's not the last point, actually it is the first point, the motivation. They are the motivators. They have to try to motivate the learners right from the beginning, from the first this thing itself, so first step itself, where not only to the normal learners, the teacher should be, or the teacher can be productive teacher only when she knows, she recognizes the slow learners and other difficulties in the learners. That's very important. She has to motivate the slow learners, because all of them are not normal. In a class, we have 3 categories: who is genius, and who is normal, and who is low. So we have to take care of all of them. And that is how, like we in this digital environment, we have to take care of them and try to bring them to the par with the other students. So it is the duty of a productive teacher to keep watch on all these things. Otherwise, he or she will be a normal person. That is the difference, what I would like to bring in here. So finally, I would like to say the teacher should address the social and emotional issues, because we cannot say it is not my responsibility. Yes, it is the teacher's responsibility to check, but to check in a very very diplomatic way, the behavior and the social behavior and the emotional behavior of the learners, which is responsible for the good learning. Otherwise, the student lags behind, or the learner cannot come up to the mark. And then in this, especially in this fast moving age, we have to, buck up. We have to make them to go with that fast moving days and all those things. Well, so we have to teach them all these digital skills, communication skills, critical thinking skills, nurturing skills, and managing skills. All these things are important. I don't need to give an explanation of all this, hopefully, as I'm running out of the time. I would like to conclude with a quote. If you want to teach people a new way of thinking, don't bother trying to teach them. Instead, give them a tool, the use of which will lead to new ways of thinking. This is given by Buckminster Fuller, and I would just like to finish this. A teacher is the center of any teaching learning process. It's the soul and whole responsibility of the teacher. Especially in this digital era, a teacher has got a number of responsibilities in addition to her prayer role to keep everything on a pace in changing the technology, changing teaching learning system, or the environment, or the family, whatever it is. So the teacher is accountable to the society, and that is why we say teacher's profession is a noble profession. No other profession, I mean, of course, doctors are also called as noble profession. I shouldn't forget that. Here, a teacher is accountable to the society which trusts the teacher. Because they are the ones who are shaping the coming generations for the better civilization and to the nation. So with this, I would like to end my talk. And there is something like, I just picked up this image. There are some effective teachers who use technology and all. And that, probably we have spoken about it. And I would like to thank each and everyone who listened to my presentation or speaking, and hope you all had a good time. And thanks for listening, and thanks for giving me an opportunity. I would like to listen to your queries or any other observations. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Madam, you have highlighted a multiple dimension of a productive teacher in digital era, and it was very informative in the digital environment, not only just to teach students, but also to teach them the etiquettes and mannerism in digital platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Crucial statement that you have made it, and I have observed that another statement: teacher is not just a preacher and not just a teacher, but as a facilitator. And the role of teacher to students in overall development of 360 dimension. So teacher is a very noble profession. So with this note, I would like, with the permission of chairperson, I would like to open the Q&A sessions. So participants are requested to ask the question. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, can I ask?
Please, please.
It was an excellent presentation. Ma'am, if all the teachers should become 100% productive, I feel a periodic teacher training program or workshop should be conducted or organized compulsorily to establish a general standard in the institutions. And it should come under the education policy, I feel.
Yes.
Then definitely whatever idea you have mooted will become a reality. That's what my observation is.
Very true, ma'am.
And also one more point.
Yeah.
Don't you think our textbook should be designed in such a way that it automatically drives the teacher towards the students' learning? It should become learner-centric. So since we believe that teacher is a facilitator, it should be learner-centric. I feel like, could you please suggest certain methods to teachers to involve all the students in the process of classroom learning? These are some of my...
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your appreciation and your question and your observation. It was wonderful. You know, actually, I have long time back, I have not taught in India. So I have not gone through the Indian textbooks, but some textbooks I have gone through when my sister or some my neighbors and all bring in. Actually, I saw one book. You're very right, you know. It was a 4th standard English book for a 4th standard small kid. A poem, I can't recollect the name of the poem or something. You know, it was hard. It is really absurd for the small kid to understand the what you say, the technicalities or the inner meaning of the poem and all that. So that is why I was telling it is a joyless learning these days. So what? Yeah. But, you know, I was, wherever I taught, actually in Libya, we had the, I mean, I was teaching in a university, but we had the freedom of framing the syllabus and all that. So we, according to the needs of the students, we did that. But otherwise, I would like to say, like, you know, some Q skills for success is there, no? Oxford, those books are what you said, kind of learning oriented.
Yeah.
So there the teacher can be a facilitator. If the basic knowledge is known to the language is known to the students, then the learning will be easy, and we can have a discussion, we can have peer learning, more of you know, all such activities can be taken place. And I did that, I had that experience.
Yes.
And I have to see the Indian texts now, and I have to suggest anything. I'm sorry, I cannot.
No, since we teach English, we need to give more importance to the 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And I think we must involve all the students in these activities in the classroom so that they really get at it.
That is why I told you, ma'am, the Q skills have such kind of activities, like group activities, peer activities, you know, like that. So if you give them the task and try to manage them or put them in groups and make them a leader for the group, then as you say, you will be a real facilitator like that.
Yeah.
And you can observe. And actually,
now individually, I think teachers should by themselves should become productive. That's their effort.
I mean, that we cannot, it depends on the person who wants to be, how productive the teacher wants. Like, actually, the other point is like, you know, in our universities, I think nowadays also in India, I'm hearing that like after every semester or after every year before opening, you will have this FTP programs and all that. So it gives a lead what you have to teach and how you have to go about, what is the course you are taking and all that, I think so. But in other universities, I have seen we have regularly such FTP programs, faculty development
But
programs.
universally,
Professional.
I don't think. Yeah, universally everywhere, I don't think it happens.
Yeah,
Maybe some.
that's yeah, maybe true. Not and as you said, yes, teacher has to if a teacher
Yeah.
wants to be a real productive teacher, has to
Yeah.
put in all the efforts. It
Yeah.
is in his or her hands.
Yeah. Thank you for the inspiration.
Thank
Anyways.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your very interesting question, madam. And
Thank you.
yeah, I am requesting to participant. They can ask the question if you have any.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Lakshmikant from Nagpur.
Okay, nice meeting you over.
Actually, yes, ma'am. Actually, your session was wonderful, and we have learned. I learned many things, new insight, teachers. Development. I would like to know your point of view or your opinion about the teachers who teaches in the tribal area like us, because when we try to produce new kind of ideas in classroom teachings, that time the response from teacher or the student is not that much positive, you can say. So what we can do extra for bringing or for engaging our student in our teaching?
Yes, very good point, sir. And I appreciate your question because this is an Indian scenario. Of course, in other countries also we have this kind of rural background students, or like small this thing and all. Well, and I do agree you would be facing a lot of challenges like this. But what my suggestion would be, just take a group of students, or who are interested or who show some interest, and try to make a separate this thing for them. I don't know about the timings, because your timings and all that you have to adjust, and try to make it so that could be a motivation for others.
Yeah, right. But
Hope I have answered you.
As I have experience, ma'am, when we go for science student, to teach the science student, the response is very much positive. But in the case of art student, it is less, you can say.
It is a global problem, sir. Not only in India, everywhere. Even in my university, the students who are in
100%.
humanities, yeah,
100%. Science
I mean,
students
we
are really
feel
good.
I mean, I come from the arts background, not a science student. So, I mean, we cannot say all the students will be like that, but we can try to choose some of them and try to, give some new programs or new ideas, and try to motivate others, or make the peers to teach them, make the other learners to teach them.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am, for your response and your motivation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
For your questions, and due to the constraint of time,
Yes.
we are going to move ahead. We have another magnificent and charming personality with us, Chairperson Madam Sudeshna Datta. It's my pleasure to introduce Madam.
Thank you so much.
Professor Datta has been teaching English and vernacular Bengali to secondary school students at Sarda Vidya Bhavan, a government school in Calcutta, for close to two decades. She also works as a trainer and module developer in the teacher training program conducted by SCERT of the Department of English, Government of West Bengal. Madam Datta has a master's degree in English literature and B.Ed in education from Calcutta University and Jadavir University, respectively. She has engaged in action research with her students under the guidance of the British Council, from where she has collaboratively published an activity manual for teachers. She has also undertaken a research on classroom teaching with Warwick University. As a social worker, Madam is associated with an NGO which provides supports to underprivileged students in the area of basic education and cultural awareness. Madam Datta has more than 24 years of teaching experience and is a Fulbright Tea Program awardee from the University of Nevada. Over to you, Madam. This platform is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sinhe and Dr. Captain Indrani Emar for conducting this program so beautifully. And my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Nagapala for giving such a very simple yet so enriched discussion about the role of a teacher in this very changing, rapidly changing planet where we are living now. And this evening is so special for me because I am COVID affected from 3rd of January and still in isolation. Yes, and was very much feeling quite actually sick and morbid. But just when I heard about, I remembered that 9th I have to attend the thing. And so I think what Dr. Nagapala wanted to tell us that motivation of a teacher, her perspectives and way of thinking should be so different in the society that cannot be calculated, cannot be measured, cannot be projected through learning objectives, achieving this or that or awards and everything. It is only how productive you can become 24 hours into 7. Because this pandemic has taught us, I don't know about the entire part of India, but because I have worked with some of the countries and some of the states of India also, I know very well that teachers were not, mainly school teachers I'm talking about. Because in this forum, we all know that most of the teachers are either teaching in colleges or universities. But I worked with the school teachers and I have seen most of them are not trained, but they are very much in need of training. And I think Dr. Nagakala, when she was mentioning today's speaker, that technology affects teachers' productivity immensely. And in that case, I think role of blended learning and project-based learning teaching, that is PBLT, which is which has been practiced in all the different countries, in India also in some of the places, PBLT and blended learning. If these are the new things, I'm not talking about terms, but I'm talking about the perspective of a teacher. When he or she is teaching, she or he is teaching in the online and the offline mode, sometimes it's happening that for a few days, we have to go to the school. We have to go back to the school, teaching them the offline, in the offline mode. And sometimes we're coming back to the online mode. So we require to be good masters, good manipulators in blended learning. So if we don't know that, if we don't have the professional development courses for the teachers to teach them these technological skills, it won't be possible us to reach our students remotely. So, and there are so many other things that she has covered, and so lucidly that we enjoyed a lot. And I hope there is no scope to elongate today's discussion, because she has covered almost all the areas. So I would request our coordinators to now do the rest portion of the program, to continue the rest portion of the program. And I would ask only Dr. Nagakalam one question, that how do you think that blended learning will change the role of the teacher drastically? And do they need to learn how to make lesson plans for blended learning? And it is very important. Should we put it in the next generation B.Ed courses or teacher training materials? Should we put them into the materials? Do you think so? Yes, ma'am.
This is a practical question that you have asked. Yes, madam, please continue.
I think she has to unmute herself.
Madam,
can you hear me?
Yes, madam,
Yes,
please.
now I can hear. Yes.
Lesson planning, I think we have to change. As we are changing the curriculum, designing and all that, of course, lesson planning also has to be changed. You know, when I was doing my TESOL, they have taught a very simplified way of writing a lesson plan. Only 3 steps. I think that will help us to improve our way of teaching in this digital era. Hope I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I wanted it to be the point in this platform that we require some changes. So this message should go everywhere, that teachers need some changes.
Yeah,
they
if
need
possible, possible, I'll just give you a brief this thing. If I get your personal email, I will send you the details about it.
Thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank you very much. Both the
Professor Dinesh sir, there is like a question there in the Madam Principal ID. Somebody has raised the hand and they want to ask something to Nagakala ma'am. We can go ahead, because the message which is put up, which shows that ma'am is eagerly waiting to know something more about it. We shall give her an opportunity. Ma'am, please to ask, ma'am. You have raised your hand.
Yes.
We acknowledge, we are falling short of time, but yet we do acknowledge your presence over here, ma'am. Kindly ask the question what you feel like asking, ma'am.
You are welcome, madam. Please ask the question. She is able to listen.
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am. It is in, we are not able to identify the name. It is a Gmail ID, principal, something there. So, ma'am, if you're there, kindly ask the question, ma'am, or we shall proceed further. Okay, sir, we can just move ahead. Dinesh sir, please do welcome Dr. Gansham sir to speak few words, sir.
Anybody have a question, Mr. Suresh?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, we'll go ahead, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Regarding teaching English to the students these days, since they have all materials or exposure to internet and other sources, they show a kind of low interest, ma'am, during English classes. So how can we motivate them? Number one, or can I use the materials from media, ma'am, like cinema WhatsApp, it would be an add-on material only. What is your say here, ma'am? Suggestion, ma'am?
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Suresh, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, your first, thanks for your question, and I do appreciate. Well, I would like to say when I don't know if your courses has a prescribed textbook. If it has, you have to follow and you have to go by the rules of that organization or university rules and other such things. But otherwise, add-on information, like add-on kind of movies and all, okay. But I would suggest try to keep to the standard of the language of the learning even. You know why? Because I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to mention here, in one of the FDPs last time, one presenter was showing the movies for a listening thing, I think. I don't know for what. But it was not a standard one, it was not like reachable, like, what we say, to the university level or that type of level students. So you see the level of the students and the need, and then you can really use anything. Actually, we in TESOL, we use this newspaper clippings, and we take it as a task. We teach different language items, and we take it for discussion. Even the first level discussion, second level discussion, like that. We can do it always, sir. Hope I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So what I comprehend is, I have to have a quality material.
Exactly.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. Because I right now doing my research in creating motivational content for students, ma'am. That's
Very
why
good.
I wanted
Very
to get it.
Very
Okay,
good.
ma'am.
Very good. And that is why I said, like, there shouldn't be a compromise in the standard of learning.
Very nice interaction, and really the motive is going to be fulfilled the today's satsang. Now I would like to call the founder and general secretary of iSPELL India, Honorable Professor Ghansham sir, to express his remark. Mr. Professor Ghansham sir.
So, Ghansham sir, are you there, sir? So we'll go, probably is not there. Is not there in the session. Yes.
No,
sir.
Can I go ahead, or
we'll proceed with we'll go ahead, sir. We'll go ahead.
Okay.
The next.
Furthermore, I will
Yes,
invite to Dr. Indrani Madam for the distribution of certificate.
Thank you very much, Professor Dinesh sir. Pramod sir, could you please share the screen, sir?
Congratulations.
As the topic said, it is mirroring on the go, being a productive teaching in an icon of technology. It was really well presented. This certificate goes to very humble keynote speaker, Dr. Nagakala ma'am. I've met her personally as she was here in Mysore, where she was very, very humble. I met her, even family members also. Very professional and a scholarly family it is, ma'am. It was wonderful session, informative, and you made us very clear to know about the role of the teacher, who should raise high with noble thoughts along with imparting education and knowledge. Ma'am, on behalf of iSPELL platform, we would like to hand over the certificate to you as a token of appreciation. We always say that it is not to certify a great scholar like you, a great orator like you, but yet this is a token of appreciation from iSPELL platform, ma'am. And this certificate is for the response. With great gratitude, we are handing over this certificate to you, to Nagakala ma'am, for a wonderful deliberation, which made people to a very informative session. Ma'am, this certificate is for you, ma'am, on behalf of iSPELL platform. Thank you so much for your time and being very obliging. Amidst all your busy schedule, you were able to give us your time, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am really honored and blessed to be amidst you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is another speaker who chaired the session, as Dr. Dinesh said, a charming lady with great attitude amidst her health issues, but yet she was here with us to deliver, to chair the session. And ma'am, on behalf of iSPELL platform, we extend immense gratitude towards you for chairing the session and summing up all those things which is needed. And thank you for your precious time, ma'am. And we wish you speedy recovery and take care of your health. And on behalf of iSPELL, this certificate goes to Sudeshna Datta, ma'am, for chairing the session. Ma'am, a token of appreciation for you, ma'am. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Yes, we extend a heartfelt gratitude to Dinesh Kumar Singh for leading the event in a very, very successful way. Dinesh sir, very first talk when I you told me like, yeah, you are very obliging in being a part of it. You are an active ISPN. Along with that, a learner in teachers should always have that insight to learn and learn, because we are a teacher along with learners as a student. So on behalf of iSPELL, I extend immense gratitude towards you for taking this, being a master of ceremony and taking this event to this success. Thank you so much on behalf of iSPELL platform. Thank you, Dinesh sir.
Pleasure, ma'am. So I will move ahead to the formal vote of thanks. My deep gratitude to the speaker and a chairperson for their valuable time and for showing concern to the iSPELL forum. Thanks to the founder and General Secretary of iSPELL India, Honorable Professor Ghansham sir, President Professor Anupama Ohra ma'am, Vice President Dr. Prasanta Chakravarti sir, and Dr. Ashok Sachdeva sir. It's nice to meeting you, sir. I'm grateful to joint secretaries, coordinators of iSPELL forums from Chhattisgarh, Tripura, South Karnataka, Rajasthan, West Bengal, and East Maharashtra. As our Honorable General Secretary points yesterday that teaching is not important, but reaching is an important phenomena. Therefore, I am thankful to all the members and coordinators who have contributed their knowledge, their efforts to upliftment of the English fraternity all over the country and to the globe by organizing such an informative session. Yesterday, as I was talking with Dr. Indrani Madam about Professor Pramod Dhengle sir, and she was saying that sir is very passionately working and handling IT coordinator. So very special thanks to Professor Pramod Dhengle sir for his passion as an IT coordinator to all the events, and his technical support is very remarkable. It is most imperative to thank our enthusiastic participants, scholars, teachers, professors who have shown their interest very actively and passionately in the event. Without your presence, event won't be succeeded. At last, my sincere thanks to Dr. Shalini Yadav, Madam, Executive Committee member of iSPELL, and Dr. Indrani Madam, who have given me this platform and opportunity in this memorable and markable event. Have a nice time ahead and take care of your belonging in terms of COVID-19 pandemic, and we'll pray for Madam Sudeshna for her recovery get well soon, Madam.
Yeah, get well soon, ma'am, and we will join the prayers.
Together, if it this juncture, not gathering but by wearing a mask and following the given guidelines. Have a great evening. Over to you, Madam.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
also wish Sudeshna that the speedy recovery, and I pray to God to shower on you a life of happiness and a long life, Sudeshna.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
so much. It's a great pleasure to meet you all. Have a nice evening, and thanks everyone who attended the program.
As we told you,
God bless you.
yeah, ma'am, all our best wishes are with you. Sudeshna, ma'am, you will definitely get well soon and healthy. And as an officially, I just wind up this session. As I told you earlier, it was iSPELL is a promise, and it has promised all our learners, whether number doesn't matter over here. What matters is the sharing of those knowledge, which we feel enlightened. Though we are professors, though we are teachers, we are always enlightened by these satsang. Today's is the 69th satsang, where we are reaching very shortly to 75th SSS. So as a promise, this platform has really given a horizon for learners and competent platform for the learners, where it stands to elevate and facilitate. On behalf of all these iSPELlians, EC members, I extend heartfelt gratitude to everybody over here, and my special gratitude to Dr. Gansham sir, President Anupama ma'am, Satdeval sir, then Prashant Chakravarti sir, Shalini ma'am, Pramod sir, to name like each one contribution a lot in every satsang. So on behalf of everyone, let me thank the audience who are present over here. Sunday is really an education feast, a literary feast, and we will acknowledge Dr. Anita Braggs, ma'am, Professor Anita Braggs, ma'am, who is a coordinator of who is the principal of Maharaja's College, Mysuru, and her invitation says here, I acknowledge everybody's presence over here on this platform. Students are there, and all those.
I think Madam has lost the connection.
Unmute Indrani, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much once again for everybody who is present on this platform. Stay safe and stay healthy. Happy Sunday evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam.
Thanks a lot for all of you, and have a great evening, and stay safe and stay happy.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Nagaka.
Thank you.